What if you thought someone understood what you said, but they didn't? What if you were to realize that half the room weren't really paying attention and the other half paid attention but didn't remember what you said? A lot of my clients are communicators and they use visuals to help them express and get more attention, get more memory retention. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate a deeper dive into how I brought a framework to life. When people think about story, they think about a lot of high-level stuff. It seems complicated, but just by using a simple storytelling technique, we can actually get our messages and our content to be more easily understood and better yet remembered. Check it out.
In any good story, there's always a question like, what's going to happen next? What happens next? And then what? So when it comes to frameworks and bringing frameworks to life, I think that is a really good idea to see if you can use animation to have one step going to another step so that your users, your audiences are not just listening to you or watching you speak, but they are actually following something where you get the audio and the visual at the same time. I think this lends to better retention. From what I researched, what I found, the science backs that up. So there you go. It's kind of like reading a physical book while listening to the audiobook. I'm not sure if you've ever tried that, but it's really powerful. So recently I've had the privilege of working with Rory Vaden, New York Times bestseller, author of Take the Stairs, and now the second book. It's not a new book, but I recommend it. It's a really easy read. It's called Procrastinate on Purpose. And in this book, he features this framework called the focus funnel. I was not the original designer on this. This was already beautifully designed, but we were wondering, okay, how can we make this even more engaging and more sticky? I typically would take my frameworks from clients through my own assessment called, I just call it a framework test. Sequences of questions I would ask to kind of evaluate how strong or effective in terms of memory retention the framework or method is. So for this one, it scored pretty high. The flow test, the understanding test, the design test, and the story test. They're all little questions that go with each topic, with each heading. And this came out quite well. As you can see here in green, only a few areas that could do with some help. And this is along the lines of just visual hierarchy, like not knowing which part to go to next, a point A to a point B. And this is the power of motion graphics, man. This can do with some motion design. So let's go. I took it from the beginning. I said, okay, I need to understand this. I broke it down into sketches. There's a clear visual concept here where they're using a funnel. Now, a funnel is something relatable to us. Where can you see a funnel in life naturally? A garage, a mechanic shop, maybe a kitchen, or maybe a chemistry lab. And I took the opportunity to dive a little deeper into a chemistry lab setting. My dad is a chemist and he taught me chemistry, so this was kind of a biased approach. I'm very familiar with the instruments in the chemistry lab, so I went all out on trying to see, okay, what tools in the chemistry lab will best bring this to life. Now, I think I went a little too far. I got a little too carried away with the chemistry side of things, and it took away from the actual concept. I did take a little cue from the beaker, this little instrument that you would see in a science lab. So it's not fully immersive. Like a user wouldn't see this and say, hey, okay, this is a chemistry thing. But those who know, and it kind of brings the story of something coming in the top of the funnel and coming out. It is kind of natural to land in something that is a container. So this is the final framework. Statically, this is the one that was approved for the book. This is what we landed with for animation.
If you can't automate or delegate a task, that task drops out the bottom of the funnel, and at that point there's only one remaining question. Must it be done now, or can it wait until later? If the task must be done now, then that's what we call concentrate. It's the permission to protect. It's all about focus and eliminating distractions, and honestly, there's nothing all that exciting or new there. However, if you ask the question, can this wait until later, and you decide that the answer is yes, then that's not eliminate, automate, or delegate. That is what we call procrastinate on purpose. Now, you're not going to procrastinate on it forever. You're going to pop that activity back to the top of the funnel. at which point it will enter into a holding pattern where it will cycle through the focus funnel until inevitably, one day, eventually, one of the other 4 strategies will be executed on whatever that task is. And what you find is that if something can continually wait, often what happens is you eventually develop the courage to do what you should have done in the first place, which was eliminate it.
And that's it. You can use animation, motion graphics to guide the user's eye, your audience's eye from one phase to the next. And it greater increases your chance of paying attention and also being remembered. Next time you see a framework, always think about what is going to happen next and ask yourself if animation can be used.